Have you ever opened your laptop on Monday morning and thought, is this really my life now? Welcome to corporate life. Corporate life doesn't come with the survival manual, but after this video, you'll wish it did. Hi everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel Core Classroom Learning. Thank you so much for all the love that you guys showed on our last video on how to crack interviews. Based on your request, I have come back with another video on how to survive corporate life. I'm someone who's been in corporate for quite some time now. So trust me, when I give you these tips or rules, you need to follow them. When most people start their first corporate job, they believe one simple rule: work hard and success will follow. But after a few months, reality looks very different. You notice people who work less getting promoted faster. Meetings take longer than the work itself. Emails are written in a language nobody speaks in real life. Corporate life has its own hidden rules, and nobody teaches them in college. In this video, we will talk about 10 practical rules that will help you survive and grow in corporate life without losing your sanity. So, without wasting more time, let's get started with rule number 1. Hard work alone is not enough. Working hard is important, but visibility matters just as much. In corporate environments, your manager cannot see everything you do. If your work is invisible, it might as well not exist. Instead of silently finishing tasks, share progress updates, document your achievements, and present results in meetings. This is not bragging, this is making sure your work is recognized. It might happen that you're coming early and you're leaving late, and then you still feel that the work you do or your manager is always complaining that you are just not enough, and you are just frustrated of that. At this point, you're just thinking, what am I not doing right? Well, the only thing that might be missing is visibility. If you're on your desk from morning to evening without taking any break, without interacting with people, without showcasing your work, then technically in corporate life you are not working. Your work will not speak for itself. You need to go and complain, brag, talk about your work to every possible person, and make sure it reaches your manager, because visibility in corporate means hard work. Rule number 2: learn corporate communication. Corporate communication is a skill on its own. People rarely say things directly. Instead, they use phrases like, let's take this offline, circling back, adding visibility, per my last email. These phrases help people stay polite while still being clear. For example, instead of saying, you ignored my previous email, corporate language says, per my last email. So you need to make sure when you're talking to somebody, you need to be polite, but you need to make sure that your point adds value and is clearly understood. Try not to get into conflict with somebody. Try not to use harsh language or harsh words. But if somebody comes at to you, you need to get back to them. Meaning, somebody demeans you or belittles you in a group full of people, you need to give it back to the person politely in front of the same group of people. Because if you let them get to you once, they will keep getting back to you. Make sure you have your stand at every meeting. Make sure you give it back. Because that will make it clear to people, to your manager, and to everybody else that you can talk back. And if they try to demean you in a certain way, you are going to give it back. Per my last email usually tries to signify that the point was already told to you, you missed it, so it is brought up again in today's discussion. Make sure if there's any email that has been sent to you, acknowledge the email. Make sure you do that. Make sure you acknowledge every email, every text message, every Teams message. Ping back the people on time. Otherwise, they can use this against you, and that's the last thing you want. So, learning this style will help you sound professional and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Rule number 3: your manager is your most important stakeholder. Always remember, you need to have your manager on your side, because it's your manager who has a huge influence on your performance rating, your promotions, and your opportunities. This doesn't mean that you need to please them blindly, but you should understand their expectations, their priorities, their pressure from upper management. The most successful employees align their work with their manager's goals. If things are not going in the right direction with your manager, make sure you have a skip, which means you can speak about it, the person who succeeds your manager or the person who is one step ahead or two steps ahead of your manager. You need to have somebody who is at a higher level in your team. You cannot keep on fighting with all of these people because it is them who, at the end of the day, are going to give you promotions. Make sure if there's a conflict, schedule a one to one with your manager. Talk about your problems to them very clearly. Do not gossip about your manager to the team because you do not know who's that one person who's going to take that gossip right to your manager and is going to get promoted for doing so. So directly address the problem. Talk to your manager that I did not like XYZ, that whatever is your problem. Try to address the problems directly with your manager by scheduling a one to one. Usually, this helps the most, and gossiping, trust me, will not to lead anywhere. It is going to put you in trouble. So, always remember when your manager succeeds, you usually succeed too. So, this is something that you need to be very careful about. Moving on to rule number 4. Meetings are often more about alignment than work. Many employees complain that meetings waste time. You might sit in a meeting for 1 hour and feel like nothing productive happened. Sometimes you think, I could have finished my work instead of attending this meeting. But the truth is, most meetings in corporate environments are not designed to do the work itself, they are designed for alignment. But what does alignment mean? Alignment means that everybody involved in the project is on the same page. The whole purpose is to ensure that your progress is visible, the decisions are agreed upon, and the problems are discussed early. In fact, many decisions in corporate environments cannot be made by one person alone, and thus, these meetings bring the right people together so that these decisions can be made faster. But how can you use this for your advantage? Meetings will allow you to show what you're working on, what is the progress that you have made, how are you contributing to the team. In corporate environments, like I said, visibility often matters as much as the work itself. If people never hear about your work, they may assume you are not contributing much. But the key question now, how to survive corporate meetings? Well, prepare 1 to 2 key points. Be concise, speak at least once. Even if you don't have any update, speak. It can be setting up the agenda of the meeting or just concluding the meeting. If you're not sure what to talk about, just pick points from everybody's conversation and conclude using those points. In fact, another way to do it is by just repeating or concluding using somebody else's phrases. That's why you need to listen carefully. Sometimes meetings contain information that affects your work later. And the truth is, meetings will always be part of corporate life. So instead of trying to avoid them completely, it is better to understand their purpose and use them effectively. Coming to the most important rule number 5, document everything. Many corporate mistakes aren't about bad intentions, they are about miscommunication. That's why documentation is one of the most powerful tools in corporate life. Think of it like insurance for your career. It protects you when things go wrong and proves what you contributed when recognition is needed. Imagine a scenario for a meeting decision. There is a team meeting, the manager verbally agrees to a major change in project deadlines. Later, some team members forget the change, causing confusion. If someone had documented the meeting notes and shared with the team, everyone would be aligned. It doesn't have to be fancy. Email summary of the meeting, shared Google document notes, a quick screenshot of key approvals. This small effort can save days of confusion and stress. But why does documentation matter? Well, when things go wrong, documentation shows you did your part. It keeps everyone aligned. Others can refer to written records instead of relying on memory. It builds professional reputation. People notice when someone consistently keeps things organized. And finally, it reduces miscommunication. A written record is harder to misinterpret than verbal instructions. In corporate life, your memory is never enough. Emails, meeting notes, and shared documents are your safety net. Document everything and you'll stay safe, visible, and respected. Hope you're finding this video helpful and useful. I'm also going to create a part 2 where I'm going to share the next half of leftover 5 more tips that I have on how to survive corporate life. If you find this helpful, please comment helpful on the comments. Till then, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel.